Previously on the Civic Type R rebuild.
Last year at a Grid Life event, this car wrecked into a wall at NJMP. It's crazy how all of this can happen in an instant, in a split second. All of this stuff shifts.
The frame rails on the car were straight, which gave me hope that we can fix it. We then began by tearing down the broken pieces of the Civic and checking it all over as we went. However, the amount of airbags that deployed were a little bit more of a cause for concern.
Man, this sucks.
But that didn't slow us down too much as Steve from Choice Collision came over to check out the front end.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. The next stop is hit the frame machine, and all we're searching for is a ½ inch, but a ½ inch will make a huge difference. We're getting ready to work on the front end here. You never know what's bent here doing a collision like this. I just want to check every aspect on this front end and make sure that everything is within industry spec, which is typically around 3 millimeters. If we can get it within 3 millimeters, everything's going to be just fine.
I didn't want to rush Steve while he was meticulously pulling the frame, so we headed back to the garage to open up the ever-growing mountain of body panel boxes that have just arrived.
So here are all of the parts that we've gotten. I'm sure I'm missing a few things. Here are all of my receipts and invoices. This is a 3-page invoice. I got it from my local Honda dealership because we're going all OEM on this thing because I'm not going to deal with things not fitting up right. We got bumpers, front bumper, rear bumper. We got doors. We got side skirts, fenders, hood, all in these boxes, and also airbag stuff, all hidden in these boxes. So let's tear open the boxes, make sure that we have what we need, find out what we've forgotten.
It's Christmas.
See, I want to just dig in, but I gotta be careful. Is it a boy or a girl? It's unpainted. Weird, I actually thought it was gonna be painted.
Of course, I'm the one that finds the first blemish.
Blemish.
Right there, you can feel it with your hand.
Oh, yeah, a little bent in, huh? But we gotta get it painted anyway. We could probably get that fixed. Airbag. I'm not opening this yet. Airbag.
Another airbag.
Oh, I got an airbag. I think that's an airbag. In this here box, we've got an assortment of all types and flavors of plastic clips, retaining clips, bumper garnishes. There's another bumper garnish. Wow. Very space-conscious packing. Look at this.
They call this fragile?
I really hope we don't have to use that, but Steve told me to get it. I forgot what is in this box, but I look at the label here, and now I know exactly what it is. Do we have to blur? Do we have to blur that? Didn't realize Honda was so not family-friendly. Oh, I know what this is. It's not an expletive. This is what I feel like people with regular Honda Civics buy, and then they put on their regular Civic. Uh-huh. Look at that beauty, huh? Type R. I am a grill. Assembly, assembly, assembly.
This is some nice packaging. Look at that.
Oh, careful. So there's a fun Type R fact about this piece right here. This is a diffuser. OEM diffuser on the Type R's, functional. It does actually help produce downforce. This connects up with another panel and it's complete flat bottom where the air can kind of flow up. And I think that's a really cool fact about the Type R. Whoa, holy smokes, it goes all the way up to there? Mark, I might need your help.
All right, go ahead.
All right, ready?
Yep, go. Oh.
Ooh. Black Type R? This is, how do other YouTubers do this? This is what YouTubers are supposed to do, right? You buy wrecked cars and rebuild them.
I don't know, maybe they plan it out better. They don't buy as wrecked of a car like this one.
There are a lot of parts that need to go back on this car, and after dropping them off at the shop, I know that Steve has his work cut out for him.
We just got one of these high dollar headlights for this Type R. We want to make sure that we're real careful. You don't want to drop these.
Oh my God, there's yours.
But having the sheet metal on here is helping me see even more clearly the front end damage. That's why I love to hang sheet metal.
Pulling a frame is no joke, even if it is a minor tweak. And with the hood mounted, Steve can make some pulls and dial in the front end.
Well, I like the driver's side. Today we got this front end within 3 millimeters of spec, which is good. It's acceptable and it's normal, but I'm not happy with it. Tomorrow I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna get that last 3 millimeters to make it zeroed out so it's perfect. Thing moves a mile. Just a little bit of tension on it. Oh yeah, all right, so the X measurement is exactly perfect. Let me check this out again and then I need to check the length. The length is the same, the X measurement's the same. This front end is square. You think that'll make my butt look big? Does that take 10 pounds off or does it add 10 pounds?
Definitely takes 10 pounds off. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now that the front end is square, Steve begins hanging a few more pieces to check his work.
Well, yesterday we pulled the front end around, got it zeroed out to perfect, and now I need to test fit all the sheet metal just to validate that everything is where it needs to be. Yep, that looks really good right there. It's going in and latched perfectly. Starting to look similar to the other side now. I got some dysfunction going on. This bolt hole right here. Oh, look at that. Normally those brackets are welded on and you gotta keep playing with them. This one's bolted on. There's a pretty gap right there. Let me hit that adjuster. The puppy wanted to go in there. Look at that.
Now it's time to put the car back on the frame machine because we've got to work on one of the most time-consuming pieces of this build, the rear quarter panel.
I stopped pulling here in the wheelhouse, and I may start by putting a hole in here and pulling the sheet metal. That's a beauty shot right there. Look at that. Ooh, there we go. Like you said, you just play with it until you come to a point where you're like, you know what, I can just hammer and dolly everything else. Still might pull some more on it. See if I can get that hook in here and see if I can get that to move. Yep, it's gonna rip. It's gonna rip. Yesterday on the back quarter panel, we got some really good pulls on it trying to get the damaged sheet metal out. And we did a little bit of spot weld drilling yesterday. We got some panels loose here, but my goal for today is to get this whole damaged panel off the car and actually start fitting the brand new quarter panel.
In order to get the rear quarter panel aligned properly, the door has to be fitted with a latch and a weather seal.
Oh yeah. Buddy, brand new.
Yeah, you can see it separated. I can bet you a ton of seam sealer holding this thing on. Ta-da! Ta-da! Oh, there it goes. Before I can test fit this quarter panel, I really need to go back and grind all these places where I drilled, make it perfectly smooth. There's still a lot of work to be done. Today we're going to try to get this new quarter panel fitted to the car. So I got to do a bunch of cutting here, and I'm going to not use the whole quarter panel. I got to cut down here in the rocker. So, but hopefully by the end of the day this thing will be fitted on the car, and we'll be that much closer to getting it welded on. All done. You'll see me take this thing on and off a million times now. See how far off this quarter is. Hey, at least we got a gap now. But I got to get this quarter down Probably time for me to pull this wheel off. Yeah, that thing is way off here. Look at that. I can't believe it's sitting in there that nice. That's relatively close. You see this needs to come forward here. You don't want there to be any tension. Even if you can get it and screw it in, you don't want that tension. Feeling pretty good about it, yeah. Get all my stuff spliced, fit it up there for real, and see what it looks like. Gap looks fine now, but the hatch gap is different on both sides. I got to figure out why the hatch is offset. You see how wide this one is over here?
Taking a closer look at the rear and the hatch alignment, Steve could only come to one conclusion.
Well, there's a chance the rear end may be swayed over like the front end was swayed. So I think I'm gonna make a tug on it and see what happens, see if it moves this week or so.
Thank you again to Continental Tire for sponsoring this video. They have tires for all sorts of needs, like step stools, exercise, relaxation, a bookmark, a basketball hoop, and more. But the best use of Continental Tire is on your car. Get yourself the ultimate rain tire in the Extreme Contact Sport 02 or a track tire with the Extreme Contact Force by clicking the link in the description below.
We're trying to get the fitment perfect, just like we tried on the front end to get it zeroed out. We're just fighting gaps, so you move a little bit and check it, and move it a little bit and check it, and hopefully by the end of the day, taillight will be perfect, the door jamb will be perfect, everything will be ready to weld maybe tomorrow. No, I'm gonna have to pull that. There's nothing to it but to do it. It needs a little bit more. It's definitely moving there. Actually, I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to mark some spots and maybe cut some more holes to spot weld some stuff and structural glue some other stuff. That just feels so nice. So I think I'm ready to prep the panels for welding and structural glue. Well, yesterday we got the quarter panel fit up where I liked it, so I'm ready to weld. So today is the day that we make this quarter panel permanent to the car. We're using a product called Fuser. It's a 109B. It's metal to metal bonding glue. It's crash tested, it's safe, but it's a really strong product and it saves a lot of time using it. polyester. It's like a thinner Bondo. Well, at least people see how we hide the seams in. Today we are going to start to get these seams here where the old quarter panel was and the new is now. Welded that up yesterday, going to finish this, make it look like it never happened, get it in primer. I can take all the clamps off today, basically get it ready for paint. That's kind of the next step here. We are putting the seam sealer back where all these spot welds were.
Hey Ben, your Civic jumped out at me. This little quarter panel here didn't want to go out without a fight. So thank you, Civic.
You screamed like a girl.
I did. I really did. It was so loud the neighbors heard.
Let's see, we fixed the quarter panel today where I had to roll the lip under and make it flush. Had a little bit of dysfunction in it. We fixed that. We seam sealed a little bit more. And now we're getting ready to take the hatch off because the hatch has damage. And trying to get the quarter panel painted and the hatch painted. Ooh, it did, it came off nice. We're gonna lay them on those stands over there.
I think Championship White looks so good. Comment below what your favorite color of the Civic Type R is, but for me, I'm going to be rocking this Championship White for a long time. The Civic and all its painted pieces are finally back in my garage, and the rather large task of reassembling it piece by piece now looms overhead. But it's all going to be worth it because I cannot wait to drive this car on the road. Thanks again to Continental Tire for sponsoring this series, and don't forget to find yourself a set of tires in the link in the description below.